8th grade tackles the essential question of how might acknowledging the realities of U.S. history help to transform society? Our first unit covered Indigenous peoples, also referred to as Native Americans or Indians. We have seen many stories about Native Americans that are told by the dominant group, or what students learn to be the dominant story. Students were asked to look at both the dominant and marginalized stories and see for themselves what they felt the truth was about their chosen topic.
I think history is really important because you get to know how things that have happened and reflect things that will happen in the future.
And one topic that we've been learning about is the Trail of Tears, and I had known nothing about it before, but now that I look back and studied it, I've learned so much, and I've kind of just seen this whole new other side.
I think all the research that I and my classmates did for our topics really helped us understand what the Native Americans are going through. And with our projects, we kind of related more to them and tried to make something that could spread awareness and help them.
And it's kind of devastating to know that what we did to them is against our values to this day, and I don't think we can definitely learn from that to not repeat it in the future.
I think that the whole Native American project has taught us how to feel empathy for other people, because we have learned a lot more about the history of Native Americans, and that can happen for other people too.
Reservations are a concept foreign to most Americans. Created after indigenous peoples were forced off their lands in the 19th century, reservations were an artificial construct created as quote-unquote compensation for their stolen homelands. Today, those living on the bleak landscapes of reservations are isolated from American society. To put it simply, residents of the reservations have vanished from the American mind. Dialogue concerning issues affecting the Native community are absent from our elections and seats of government. They are treated as if they don't exist.
I think that learning the down and marginalized story has really taught us about a dark part in our nation's history, and it's a dark part that still is a problem that is still yet to be solved. And putting ourselves in the people that have been affected by all these problems' shoes can help us solve the problems.
Students in the social justice narratives through film Elective watched parts of a documentary series about Kalief Browder. Kalief Browder spent 3 years on Rikers Island in New York without being convicted of a crime. He had been arrested at the age of 16 for a robbery he insisted he had not committed. Then he spent more than 1,000 days on Rikers waiting for a trial that never happened. During that time, he endured about 2 years in solitary confinement.
It made me really angry. I can imagine him being really angry, and I couldn't necessarily imagine all the emotions he was feeling or the pain he was feeling, but it was upsetting, but it kind of gave you a view, because you got to see him talking and you got to see him expressing himself and trying to get through it. And so yeah, that's how I kind of took it.
When I watched the documentary, I was really sad because he went to jail for a crime that he was accused of doing for 1,000 days, and the court kept on pushing his day back.
When watching Time, a Kalief Browder story, I became more aware of the injustices in the criminal justice system of America. I realized how inconsistent and how unfair they can be towards teenagers who have had a life that is not as great as the one that we've had here at Town School, and how one bad thing can change reputation forever. And for instance, with Kalief Browder, it sent him to Rikers Island, one of the most dangerous prisons in the world, and made him stay there for over 1,000 days just for stealing a backpack, allegedly. So when I watched this movie, a realization came into my head that the criminal justice system is actually supposed to be called the criminal injustice system.
History isn't just a class. It's learning how to inform our decisions from the mistakes of others. America and its citizens need to understand both sides of our history. Yes, we beat the British, but also yes, we killed thousands upon thousands of natives.
But when we tell the two-sided story, from both perspectives, that's where we can begin rewriting the narrative.